Boom shakalaka. This chart here just flashed the most insanely bullish signal for Bitcoin ever. If you are sitting on the sideline deciding whether to get into Bitcoin, or if you're already in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, this chart here shows you something you will not believe. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we are talking about this chart flashing an absolutely insanely bullish signal. You won't believe it. Before we get into that, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell, and let's get into things. Guys, as we've been talking about for a while, Bitcoin has been trading in this bullish megaphone, these white lines. Just the other day, exactly as predicted, it broke out above the top of the bullish megaphone because we were sitting in this wedge. It had to break out by January 9th. I said, hey, there is a lot of buy pressure. It's going to break out to the upper side. And now this upper bound is actually becoming support for Bitcoin price. Right now, the price at about $34,200. Now, that's exciting. But guys, that is nowhere near as exciting as what I'm going to share with you right here. So this is the Bitcoin Rainbow price chart. And it has just done something that basically is like the most bullish indicator you could ever get, period. Okay? So basically, if we take a look at it, right now, the Bitcoin price has just gone up into the yellow area. So it starts out the dark blue, then the light blue, then the dark green, then the light green. Basically, the dark blue, the light blue, and the dark green are like Bitcoin's fair value price. But once we get above there, the yellow is still a hodl area before we get to the orange. Is this a bubble? Darker orange FOMO intensifies, and then sell and maximum bubble territory of the red. So if you take a look at this chart, every time that Bitcoin makes it to the yellow bar, it ends up going up to the red. As a matter of fact, on average, every time it hits the yellow, it goes up to the red within 2 months. Now let's take a look at this. Okay, back here in 2013, hits yellow for the first time, and then less than a month later, hits red. Drops back down to yellow, but then starts taking off in the yellow. Here was 4 months before it made it back up to red. So that's the longest time from yellow to red. But here drops down to the yellow, and less than a month, back up to red. And then we have over here in 2017, hits yellow, and then 3 months later, in red. So on average, we have just over 2 months from when Bitcoin hits yellow to when it hits red. Now, why am I not making this video when it was in the green? Well, as we can see here back in 2019, Bitcoin hit the green, but then came back down, okay? But yellow, every time Bitcoin hits yellow on this Bitcoin Rainbow chart, it heads up to red on average about 2 months. Now, if we take a look 2 months from here in red, Bitcoin price is $125,000. Yikes. Okay, so if you're sitting on the sideline, guess what? Bitcoin could very well be $125,000 in just a couple months. This is not the only thing that's saying we're going to have Bitcoin over $100,000 within a few months. If we take a look at the Bitcoin price leap indicator, every time Bitcoin is in a power of 10 for 100 days, it goes up a whole nother order of magnitude within 6 months. So here's $1 for 100 days goes up to 10. Here's $10 go up to 100, $100 up to 1,000, $1,000 up to 10,000. Guess what? November 4th, it was $10,000 for 100 consecutive days. That means by May 4th, it's going up to $100,000. There's an 83% chance this would happen based on this chart here. And guys, a lot of you are sitting on the sidelines waiting, well, when's it going to come back to $5,000? When's it going to come back to $10,000? Willie Woo, one of the best analysts out there, he tweeted, he says, we'll never see a $20,000 Bitcoin again. $24,000 support would need a black swan event to break down. Floor price supported by long-term buyers is rising very fast. As a matter of fact, the number of entities with a balance greater than 1,000 Bitcoin is at an all-time high. The price movement is happening because retail buyers are buying on exchanges, pushing the price up because the supply of Bitcoin is just decreased from all these institutions buying it up at insanely large clips. And what are these institutions? Well, Grayscale alone last month bought 2.5 times the total Bitcoin mined. They bought 72,950 Bitcoin when only 28,112 Bitcoin were mined last month. But they're not the only institution buying Bitcoin. We also have PayPal and Cash App buying up more than 100% of the supply. Also, just yesterday, Bitcoin worth $1 billion leaves Coinbase's institutions FOMO buy, and we can see this right here on CryptoQuant. Every one of these large red lines, this is Coinbase moving Bitcoin from Coinbase Pro to Coinbase Custody, basically taking Bitcoin out of the trading liquidity pool and giving it to institutions, this large HODL pool we were just talking about. And because of that, every time retail buyers, you or me, buy in, the price shoots up even higher. And we're seeing what we're seeing now with Bitcoin price just shooting up in a day. It goes up $5,000 in a day. So you guys who are sitting on the sideline, you're like, well, when can I buy in? When's it going to come back down? And really, I would turn back to Willy Woo, one of the best analysts out there, who says, if you're looking for an entry to HODL Bitcoin long term, don't nickel and dime an entry. You're not going to sweat a few $1,000s of non-perfect entry when it's $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in a year. The main bull phase is here. Capital inflows has gone nuts, and we're seeing proof of that right here. And guys, this is one of the most bullish signals I have ever seen for Bitcoin. Hitting this yellow line, it never does that until it goes up to a red, on average in a couple months, $125,000. You don't want to miss this. So guys, if you did enjoy that, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I will catch you later. Peace.